So there was a bar citizen, as you're talking about, Jonathan. There was a bar citizen that CIG did in Beijing, and there's a few notes that came about in terms of some of the talking points, some interesting things, some new ships and stuff like that. So we're gonna go over that. New information that we've gotten from John Crew at the bar citizen in Beijing. All right. So the first point that was revealed is that all ships in the near future will be nameable. Nice. They should have done that from the beginning, but anyways, doors will be strengthened to make breaches harder. So if they're gonna make breaches harder, will they introduce new mechanics to help us breach? I hope so. Missions designed exclusively for capital missions are planned. So hopefully these missions will pay out more. So let's say you get a mission where it's asking you to go and kill a Polaris, for example, or go and kill an Idris. The mission should be taken into account the amount of people you need to crew the cap ship you're gonna bring to go and kill that Polaris or that Idris, right? It should be taken into account that, and if any fighters or escorts that you need, it should be taken into all those things account and pay accordingly, because right now it's not worth it, right? Even like the cost of one torpedo is probably more than the mission payout to kill a Polaris right now. All right, torpedoes will have a minimum range to prevent their use at close range. So they're trying to nerf dumbfire, but if you're gonna nerf dumbfire, right, you need to make sure you give us the mechanics to actually kill another cap ship, because PDCs are indestructible. So make PDCs indestructible and then you can nerf that. That's fine. But right now, PDCs are indestructible. Like, have you guys tested it in 4.11 if PDCs are destructible now? If it is, then that's awesome. The Idris M will have superior armor to the P. Whoa, really? Which makes sense. Turrets will receive additional buff to make it easier to shoot smaller ships. Okay. However, this requires additional weapons to differentiate further between ship sizes. Interesting. So turrets are getting a buff, are eventually going to be getting a buff. The Javelin will have a resistance to smaller weapon sizes, with size 5 and up having a normal impact, size 4 reduced impact, while anything below that will have no hope. Which makes sense. The Javelin, yeah, you're not going to hurt the Javelin, bro. You're not going to hurt the Javelin if you're running smaller ships. So this means if you're coming with smaller ships, or if you're going to be fighting a Javelin, bring other cap ships. And then if you're going to have like fighters and smaller ships or gunships and stuff like that, make sure you have bombers with you. So if you want to do anything impactful and you're not in a capital ship yourself, make sure you're using a bomber if you want to inflict any type of damage to capital ships, especially the Javelin. So bomber gameplay is going to be very important. Coordinated bomber gameplay is going to be very important. Okay. All right, so capital ship shields will be able to regenerate despite incoming damage, as long as the attacking ship or ship's weaponry are below a certain threshold of weapon sizes. Holy cows, they're drastically buffing capital ships, so I kind of understand why they're slowing down capital ships, because they're getting buffs in other ways. So this is crazy. So if you're running smaller fighters, you're not going to be able to keep my shields down. It's going to regen to full even when you're shooting. Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. All right, flak is coming, which is going to be nice, which will act as AoE projectiles that are specifically designed for use on capital ships against smaller vehicles. That is going to be awesome. Flak gameplay is going to be pretty sick. I've seen a game that had flak gameplay for cap ships, and it was awesome, man. It was a turn-based game that I watched on YouTube a while back. It was really awesome. Like, if you have, like, and the way it worked was there was the cap ship would be flying in this direction, and on the broadsides, if there's fighters around there, it would launch its flaks. And so this whole area right here in front of it, right here on the side. So if there's any fighters around, friendly or enemy fighters, dead. You're not gonna survive the flaks. It's yo, I can't wait for that gameplay. That's gonna be pretty sick. That's gonna be pretty sick. Flak. That's gonna be really interesting. They will be automatic. What? Oh my gosh. Similar to PDCs, flak is gonna be automatic? Holy crap, that's gonna be so bad. So if you get anywhere close as a fighter, it's going to take you out. You thought PDCs were bad. Just imagine flak, bro. Flak, and I believe flak will be all ballistics. It will be all ballistics. That's crazy. I thought you were going to be manually doing that, but this is wild. Automatic flak system. Cap ships are, oh my gosh. Yo, you know what? You know what this gives me indication of? This means we're going to be getting a lot of the cap ships coming in very soon. Right? We're going to be getting a lot of the cap ships coming in. So if they drop the Idris, so now we have 2 cap ships. And I believe in the next year or two, we're probably going to have 2 or 3 more. I know we're going to be getting the purchase by the end of the year too. It's going to be really interesting because I think they're going to start dialing in capital ship PvP. They're going to be balancing capital ship PvP. Wasn't there a post from Jared, which was deleted later, saying something like everything what's shown in business launch week will be flight ready? Yes, I heard about that. With flak, we're gonna have World War II space sim before GTA 6. You're not meant to go flying close to cap ships. Yes. Right now in the PU, they do get really close and stick behind you. You know, where your turrets can't get you and then shoot at you. But with the flaks, bro, it's a wrap, man. Can't wait to have anti-tank guns on the 890. That is wild. Might have the AA ground vice vehicles useful. Nice. Yo, that's really interesting. Damn, I didn't know that. Okay. A confirmation that additional game packages are still planned to represent an additional character NPC. An additional character / NPC. What does that mean? A confirmation that additional game packages are still planned to represent an additional character or NPC. So, does this mean, are they going in a direction where like EVE Online, right? In EVE Online, you have access to 3 characters. You can have literally 3 characters and they all have their own wallet and inventory. So you can play them as, instead of like having alt accounts, I believe they're going in the direction where you can have one account and have multiple characters within that account. That's what I'm getting from this. After avionics blades come AI blades. All right, so if you guys haven't gone into the PTU yet, in the halls, they've what I heard is they've added the actual AI blades that are going to be coming in. I think these AI blades are going to be all avionics. It's going to affect the way your ship flies, and this is the introduction of blades. So I'm really keen to really try these things out. They are going to be in the halls, but I don't know if we're going to have access to use them yet. in 411, but it seems that we're getting them very soon. So AI blades will be coming on after the avionics blades. Really interesting. The Javelin will not have an additional. The Javelin will not have an enclosed hangar to park in. Okay. PDCs will continue to shoot at attacking spacecrafts. I don't get that. PDCs, they always shoot at attacking spacecrafts. So I don't get the context of that. Okay, in the future, crimes will eventually result in UAE retaliation all the way up to Javelin class responses. Interesting. So it's kind of like GTA 5-star crime stat that you'll get. The NPCs will show up just to deal with you if you're too troublesome. A long time ago, it was said that if you own more than one game package, you could have a second character. Oh, really? Okay. Interesting. Maybe that's because of that. All right. So ship missiles will eventually be able to be loaded internally, including their upcoming PDC counterparts. Nice. Utilizing a space similar to the current available freight elevators. Really nice. So this, once reloadable ammo is in, it's going to be huge. So now I'm going to be running ballistics on my capital ships or even just general purpose ships. I would make sure I have ammo boxes on my ship and run ballistics. Ballistics are so effective. It's just that we're limited to the ammo counts that we have now. But if once they finally add reloadable ammo, it's going to be huge. The eventual release of Player Javelin will be fully armed, including its 2 size 10 main guns. Holy cows. 2 size 10 main guns. Holy cows. That's no joke. I didn't even know there were size 10 guns. Well, it's for each extra package you had, you got an AI crew member. That would be pretty cool. What's up, Abyss? What's that you're reading? Roadmap? This is the Beijing. The notes from the Beijing. What do you call it? The Beijing bar citizen that they had. So we're just going over some of the notes that was posted on Spectrum. The Javelin was originally sold as being disarmed ex-Navy. So if it's true, the change is fully armed is huge, but also predictable. Damn. It's 2 size 10 main guns on the Javelin. Yo, that's crazy. But like running a Javelin is going to be bonkers, man. How are you going to run a Javelin with engineering gameplay? And how many players are going to need on it? Like 200? Damn. It's going to cost so much to run a Javelin if you think about it, guys. Eventually, there will be a way to earn the A-tier components through PvE, which is what the scribe system through Rakello and the other mission givers. You'll be able to earn A-tier components, I believe. Perseus will be flyable come IAE with its main turrets replaced with 2 size 8. So the Perseus got buffed. That's huge. Running a Javelin is an org raid mission, basically. Agreed. Important, those notes are not official and may be inaccurate. Good point. Just wait until the Bangle. Oh my gosh. What's the size of the Bangle weapons? The Bangle has some weapons at the bottom of it that they showcased in Squadron. It's gotta be like size 20 or something. That thing. Those were massive, bro. Those are the size of like Connies or bigger than Connies. Just the weapon alone is the size of like hammerheads. Even bigger than that, I think. All right, so eventually there will be a way to earn A tier weapons, PvE, Perseus, and flyable. All right, so the Perseus is going to get 2 size 8 hard points, which is huge. It will have also 4 PDCs. No way. They're going to be giving it 4 PDCs? That's insane. And 2 dual size 3s. If this is true, that's going to be huge. The Perseus is going to be a problem. Oh, you know why? Probably because they're buffing the capital ships. So the Perseus needs to be able to hurt them. This is probably why. This is probably why it got the buff. Because I believe it was dual size 2s, I think, initially. I could be wrong though, but Apollo is in active development. A lot of people are waiting for that. The Pioneer will not release this year, which is a huge bummer. Huge bummer. 4 size 8 guns on the Perseus. No, it's not 4 size 8. 2 size 8s. It's 2 size 8s. 4 size 8s, that's too much, bro. Come on, man. It's definitely a Polaris killer if it has 4 size 8s. The Polaris control panel will be likely moved to upper level. Makes sense. Elevator speed will increase at some point, which is much needed. Consolidated outline medium-sized ship was confirmed. Do you guys believe this? And what do you guys think it'll be? Perseus is very expensive, not far short for Polaris, and was weak to fighters. The 4 PDCs help to balance it. Oh, makes sense, but still short of the Polaris. Makes sense. It has 4 real guns, larger than the Idris. He's talking about the Bango, right, Jonathan? That's crazy. That is wild. That is wild, bro. What do you guys think this will be? The medium-sized consolidated outlands. A mini Pioneer? You think it'll be a base builder? Do we need a medium base builder? Right now we have the Starlancer build, which is a medium base builder. Do we need another one? Usually when they're adding a new ship, they're trying to fill a gap. So what would that be? There was also a bulk hauler shown in Squadron 42 demos, so it may be the one of those. Oh yes, I remember that. There was an unknown ship. It was a consolidated outland ship. For sure, because of the design language, it was definitely consolidated outlands. That could be it. But I feel like that ship was huge though. I don't think that's medium. Because when you say medium, you're talking like Connie size, right? I think it's just a medium cargo. Could be, or some sort of crafting ship, manufacturing ship, mobile manufacturing ship. I could see that. A mobile manufacturing ship. I can definitely. Oh, okay, yeah, there's a gap there. There isn't a small or medium manufacturing ship in the game yet, or at least announced yet. Right now, just a Pioneer can actually manufacture and build components and ships, but there isn't a medium-sized vehicle that can manufacture components on board, or manufacture ship weapons, or maybe guns and stuff like that. So maybe they need to introduce that before the Pioneer to figure out the mechanics, how the Pioneer will work. If that's the case, I think we'll see this ship before we see the Pioneer. CIG is a small starter base building ship. Did they? When was this? It would make sense for CIG to add a CO build hauler in different size to compete with MISC. Yeah, makes sense. That was much larger than the Pioneer. You think so? The hauler in Squadron? It was long. I know that it was long. There would be boxes with engines. I think the small base builder ship will be Nomad size. Interesting. Ironclad assault. You just want your ironclad, right? I can't wait for that ship too, man. Yeah, if it is a crafting ship, it's probably going to be an introduction to manufacturing gameplay. I think that's probably what that will be. A larger than Javelin battleship is being worked on in the future, currently split between going to Aegis Anvil or RSI. Interesting. Okay. They also reference the previous battle cruiser, references through the stretch goals as being sold at some point. Really, we'll have to see, but I'm not keen to it because that's far too expensive, man. The Javelin will be getting the previously mentioned flak weapons. Nice. What about like the Polaris? Can the Polaris get the flak? The Hauler in Squad 42 looks huge, but CIG should make a few of them. Giant rig media. Yeah. They could just make variants of it. When asked about the Idris P, John Crew was intentionally vague, saying that the answer on its release will become clear at Invictus this year. It's coming, folks. Yeah, there is speculation that we may see the Idris P. So I hear is the Idris P has a laser? Is that instead of the railgun? Is that the understanding? The Idris P, guys. Like, what makes it different? What makes the Idris P different from? I know it's less armor from the M. K has the beam weapon. Okay. So then what's the P gonna have for its main gun? Idris P has no main laser. You can buy the Idris K. You can buy the K kit for $250 to add the huge. Oh gosh. If he has no main gun, it is a transport ship. Got you. Yeah, they're upselling. They upsell you to get the K kit then. Why else would they sell the Idris P shirts at? Yes, that's what I was noticing. I'm like, why they have the Idris on the shirt? That means they're about to sell this thing. P is a civilian variant. Okay. Interesting. Okay. The updated Idris model will not come until the Squadron 42 releases properly. However, they note the differences are minor internally. Okay, the Nautilus is out of date mechanically and isn't worth thinking about right now. All right, so right now they just don't have the gameplay mechanics in yet for the Nautilus, so they're not really focusing on that. That's the understanding for this. The Vandal Cleaver is not going to be flyable as just a cutscene in Squadron 42. Okay, an orbital airdrop module is desired from John Crew, but it's not currently in the cards. Orbital airdrop module. What is that? That sounds pretty cool though. Some Helldivers mechanics. That would be pretty cool. If you have bought an Idris, you can see the K kit is permanently in the shop option purchase. Oh, I got you. Okay. That's interesting. Man, now you guys got me thinking about the Idris now. Should I be upgrading my Polaris to the Idris and get the K kit? Yeah. All right. A large interceptor ship will appear. Okay. So a fast moving ship. Okay. Fast moving medium fighter. I don't know. Would it be a heavy? It says large though. So large. You're looking at like carrot size. All right. The Javelin torpedo can be used as a cruise missile. However, it cannot be guided. They do say that it is maybe in the future for human guided missiles. That would be really cool. That would be kind of insane, actually. There we are. Replace the A1 bombs with orbital drop pods. Oh, that'd be pretty sick. Okay, that would be pretty sick. That would be pretty sick. I would love to see that in the game. How much the Idris price will increase? Oh gosh, yeah. If they're gonna release it, it's gonna go up. You can't CCU to the Idris, sadly. You can't? Are you serious? That's BS, bro. It's got 2.5 times the shields as the Polaris. Oh, wow. Twice the PDCs and 12 turrets versus the Polaris's 7. Ooh. 12 turrets. That's crazy. There are drop pods mentioned in lore. They are called nails, used by the UEE Special Forces and highly top secrets. You didn't hear it from me. Yo, that's gonna be sick. I would love to do that. Drop pod gameplay, that would be pretty sick. Actually, that's actually pretty cool. Javelin went up 500 previously, even though it's not flyable. That is wild. Yeah, the Javelin is insane, bro. No, impossible not to not ship over 1,000 will not support CCU. Oh, okay, that's okay. That's crazy, but that's not fair. Finally, ODST is back on the menu. You can't melt your entire fleet and get the Idris on the bright side. You now have a reason to grind for small ships. Right? That's true. That's true. That's another way of doing it. Remember, the Idris will be much slower. It is very weak from the stern and will be weaker from below as well. Okay. We'll be testing it out when it drops. I hope it drops. We'll definitely be doing some fleet battles, some tests, some testing with it. I look forward to it, to checking it out and seeing it. You would need to grind to pay for fuel. You can't even afford the fuel. You need fuses. I'm sure there's going to be other things you need to maintain on the ship, actually. The wear and tear on all your components, which is going to be super expensive because they're all capital size. You're not going to be able to afford to even eat in the PU. I can see Idris owners on the streets of Area 18 begging for some free AUEC. Yeah, that would be wild. All stock will be sold in seconds, as always. Yeah, I know. It just sounds like my ex with its weak areas. Oh gosh. Oh man, it's on Urkel in the live view if you want to check it out. Is it? Okay. Let's take a look at it. All right. DPS. Let's check it out. So Idris, right? The Idris is Idris P. Damn, they got it in 4-1 build. So many turrets, man. Oh my good, look at this. Look at this. Point defense, point defense, point defense, point defense. Yo, man. This thing is so well protected. Wow. AI turret. Size 5s. All size 5. All of the turrets are size 5s. Holy crap. All of its turrets are size 5s. Idris shield. It just has a dedicated shield. Grade A. Power plant. You're not going to be able to afford to run this thing, man. I'm telling you. You're not going to be able to afford it, man. It's a beast, though. Its DPS is 21,000. That's wild. I could not afford the torpedoes for the Polaris. Imagine a Javelin torpedo cost. I heard it's like size 15s, right? Air filters will also be a thing to replace. You wouldn't be able to afford your air filters. Imagine the amount of air filters that are on like an Idris or a Javelin. Bro, you'll be broke. The Warborn cash saw Idris sold very slowly last year. I understand that. Like it's crazy. That's why you need a Pioneer, a mining rig that will correct all the cap ships forever running. That'll keep them running. Flight blade slots on the right as well. Where was that? I didn't even see that. Thrusters, paints. Where are you seeing flight blade? Am I blind? Radar. I saw AI. Where you see it? Where you see flight blades? Warbond is on the other story of cause, but the store credit offers will disappear as fast as water drops in the Sahara. Oh gosh, the beast. Our org has 2 Idrises. Gonna need everyone on deck to man every station. I know. When all blades would cost an insane amount. Yeah, it's crazy. Yes, you will mining and Pioneer will offset costs. True. Key is the player numbers. If you do not have at least 3 fighters, bridge crew, and marines, you just lose the ship. What's going on, Invade? Oh my gosh. Because you only have 2? I thought it would be like 5. Bro, it's not cheap, man. I think it may be PTU loadout. Oh, it might be a PTU, so let's swap to that. Maybe turn PTU. What's going on, Mavis? About to be 3 Idris Abyss. Hope you get it, Mavis. Good luck, man. Yeah, switch to the PTU to see the flight blades. Okay, let's see. Do not buy an Idris if any of your friends own one already. Well, we plan to grow, right? So we're definitely gonna need multiples eventually, one day. It's still insane. Like, it's crazy, man. All right. Flight blades. Where are the blades? I would have assumed it would be under AI. AI turrets. Point defense. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Draftage is going on. The Polaris isn't cheap with her yet. We've got 8 dozen of those. I know the Polaris is also going to be expensive to run. The crew requirements literally mean cost. Most orgs cannot crew more than 1 at a time, and if you lose it, you did it wrong. Good thing I have 2 outs. I can park 1 each. Not be on fire. Oh my gosh. The only one. Hold on. I don't even have. I keep forgetting to do this, guys. Sorry. There you go. The only one Hammerhead make it make sense with our org fleet. No, the thing is, Hammerhead hasn't been getting much love, man. Hammerhead is getting bullied by the Polaris. That's the thing, right? Like, it doesn't stand a chance against cap ships. So they need to like help it with at least armor buff, or I don't know, man. I don't know how. Maybe give it more health point. From your title, I thought they published it to live. No. We just went over the patch watch for it. But I'm looking at the flight blade slot on my screen. Oh yeah? I don't know why I don't see it then. It's weird.